So, I've been in Don't Look Up and Knives Out, and coming up, the Whitney Houston movie will be on the fall. So you can check.
Chappaquiddick.
Yeah, Chappaquiddick, forgot about that. Which Justin Clark, we're going to get to him. I
Yeah.
got to work with Justin Clark, who is, I think, great as Jerry West in Winning Time. And that's where we're going to kick things off. So Winning Time is, let me just say off the top, it's not a documentary. I understand it. Friends of mine like Bob Ryan and Celtic fans are all so pissed off about the fact that it's just, it's entertainment, okay? It's not, it's a documentary.
It's Hollywood.
It's Hollywood.
Anytime you see anything that says it's based on, or God forbid, inspired by, don't expect it to be factual.
No, inspired by is real loose.
It's as loose as it gets.
That's as loose as it gets. But Winning Time, we'll kick it off with Drew. I mean, I love it. I mean, and this is on HBO Max. This is a story of the 1980 Lakers, how they were built, and it really starts from when Magic Johnson was drafted. That's the first season.
Yeah, I loved it too. Surprised to love it. Mostly, I like Adam McKay. I loved Anchorman. Liked Step Brothers. Not a big fan of Don't Look Up, even though Gary was in. That was
that's
it. But I really liked it. I liked it a lot. The acting is phenomenal. John C. Reilly is just a treasure, and Adrian Brody really surprised me as Pat Riley. Just his great acting, great writing, and just a lot of stuff I didn't know, even though I knew about Jerry Buss and all that stuff. And I'm a huge college basketball fan, so of course I knew about Magic and Larry and all that stuff. And so, just shocked me. Gary told me to watch it. I thought, I'm going to hate this. I'm going to have to complain to him. And then I liked the first episode, really liked the second, and after that I was just hooked.
Well, I think the reason that we like it is it all starts with John C. Reilly.
Yeah.
And the way I look at this project right now is there's some comedy, obviously. It's can be a bit cartoonish. They break the fourth wall sometimes when you don't expect it. They use a great variety of camera shots, whether it be video or digital or film. You can tell the whole difference. And I know that Adam, it's not like I'm best friends with him, but even on Don't Look Up, the scenes I was in, he would use film, he would use video. He likes to have different types of mediums, and he obviously does that here. And as does Max Bornstein, who's actually the showrunner of this. So, I love that part of it, but the drama and the humanity of it to me surprised me. And I'll start with Riley. Now, I'll start John C. Reilly, because I want to talk about Jerry Buss for a minute. Now, if you're a Celtics fan, obviously you hate Jerry Buss, right? I mean, that's just the way it is. I thought that Michael Chiklis did a very good job with Red. They made Red out to be an asshole. Red's the bad guy, right? Of course, in this, because it's a pro Laker thing. Fine, I'm over it, whatever. Chiklis did a great job. He did what the director wanted.
You're a student of the game, I take it.
But they really humanized the owner and how it was he and his mother. They didn't have any money, came from nothing, became a doctor, then got into real estate, and I didn't know, Drew, that he was so damn broke after he bought the Lakers. I mean, this guy, he
was teetering. He was teetering, literally.
He was teetering. I mean, Buss had to win the championship to keep the team, because the deal he signed with what's his face, Jack Kent Cooke was a joke.
Well, imagine if he doesn't draft Magic.
Right.
None of this happens.
None of it happens.
He goes belly up, and they're probably a non-entity. So he was smart enough to draft Magic.
And the thing about Riley is he makes you root for him. I mean, I'm actually, and that's the key to any actor, I'm actually rooting for Dr. Jerry Buss, as crazy as that sounds. I mean, I am. You root for the guy, because Sally Field, by the way, who plays his mother, is phenomenal. And they were poor. I mean, one of the great episodes I thought is they broke into an estate that they used to break into when they didn't have any money, right? They didn't have any money, and they used to break into the estate in Beverly Hills and go sit by the pool. And they did the same thing, So I love that son-mother relationship between Sally Field and Dr. Jerry Buss. To me, that's what makes it good. We have the basketball. We know about Magic. We know about Jabbar. And there's some things.
But you know what he did, Gary? I may hate to interrupt, but he did it in addition to drafting Magic. Is he understood that the NBA could be a product,
Right.
and not just a sport. And he had that idea, and nobody else did. I mean, the
Stern.
Celtics were peers.
Stern.
Stern did, but he wasn't in a position to make those decisions by himself.
Right.
He had the owners to go with him. And the Celtics were always a franchise and a sport, and it was great because if you're winning, it's always great. But he thought, I got to jazz this up, and it worked. You got to give him credit. I mean, the Laker girls and the bar and all that stuff is.
And that was his daughter's idea.
Yeah.
Jeannie's idea, where Jeannie Buss comes into this, and you see her growth into it. And I want to mention that I have the IMDb up because I want to get everybody's name. Hadley Robinson does a great job playing her. Gabby Hoffman plays Claire. Jason Clarke is Jerry West. And now let's get to Jerry West here. To name drop, yes, I did work with Jason Clarke on Chappaquiddick for a day. Wonderful guy, Australian as hell, because when he broke Ted Kennedy's character, he would go right back into Aussie, which always amazes me how guys can do that back and forth. So Jerry West is pretty pissed off, Drew, that he's being portrayed as a tormented guy who drinks too much, who loses his shit. And even Bob Ryan has come to his defense. But if you pay attention to this series, Jerry West is really the reason Showtime worked, I feel. That's my call.
Meaning what?
Meaning he stepped down as head coach because he knew he just couldn't take it, because he couldn't control it like a player. And yes, they drafted Magic, which is what Buss wanted. I get that. However, West brought in McKinney. And then McKinney
who had radical ideas.
And McKinney was the architect of Showtime.
Right.
I mean, he was the architect of the Showtime offense. Okay. Then, he had the bicycle accident. Then Westhead and Riley were able to take it one step. And then obviously, as we know history, Riley was the guy with the Armani suit and the slick back hair and the attitude. He knew how to push the buttons. I don't want to spoil it, but in the final episode, the All-Star storyline.
Yeah.
Where he gets Magic, that's Riley's thing. I don't know if Riley was the tactician that McKinney was, but Riley was definitely the psychologist. So Brody plays Riley very well, where Riley, I don't know if it would have worked if Jack McKinney had stayed all the way, and I don't know if it would have worked.
I don't think so.
So McKinney was there to build it, and then Riley took it home. And I think that's the only way it would have happened. And West saw that and made that happen.
Yeah. I mean, look, if I'm Jerry West, I'd piss too, because he doesn't come off well in this. He seems afraid. He's, haunted by only one championship, and he lost all those to the Celtics and all that stuff. So yeah, I can understand it. And you know what? Hollywood's littered with bodies of real people who got abused on screen. It's just, it happens because for dramatic effect, that's what you do.
Now,
that's what it is.
We have the people playing, Magic and Jabbar. Dr. Solomon Hughes, I think, does a great job playing Jabbar. Quincy Isaiah plays Magic. But who are your other favorite actors, your honorable mentions in this, other than the ones we've talked about?
Oh man,
that's for me.
I like Spencer Haywood.
Oh yes, from Remember the Titans. He was
I like that guy. Did a hell of a job. That's a good role and a tough role. The woman who becomes the eventual president,
Claire Rothman, Gabby Hoffman.
Yep, she's terrific. Just everybody was good. It was just, of course, Sally Field, but John C. Reilly carries it. If John C. Reilly doesn't do his job, it's not as good a movie or good a series.
Well, no, there's no doubt about that. And the thing of it is we don't. And I think what he benefits from is he doesn't have. You don't hear his voice. I don't know what Jerry Buss sounds like, but
no.
So he has that ability, and he doesn't try to change his voice. So I think that really works. I mean, Tracy Letts, for me, I just think he's just such a superb actor. I love the guy. I mean, the way he played McKinney and the way he's so understated, to me, is phenomenal. I mean, I love Letts. I think Westhead is overdone a little bit, don't you?
You took the words out of my mouth. I didn't care for that character. I mean, you could see him acting. The rest of them, you can't see him acting. you can see him acting.
Yeah, Jason Segel, you know. Wood Harris. I'm sorry, Wood Harris plays Spencer Haywood. He should get Best Supporting Actor. Wood Harris. He was in Remember the Titans as Julius Campbell. Write it down. As Spencer Haywood, the kid is freaking awesome.
He's great.
I mean, he's great. And Drew, you pointed out to me that Spencer had no problem with how he was portrayed.
There was an article recently I read that, you know, he didn't have any problem with it. He understands why West is pissed off and all that, but he, you know, look, it's legit. He got caught, you know, back on drugs during the finals, and they voted him off, and
It happened.
Kareem was the deciding vote. That's a great scene.
It's a wonderful.
True.
Like any great sports series or movie, it's not about the sport.
No.
You know, it really isn't. So if you guys haven't watched Winning Time, check it out. I just also want to say, I think Adrian Brody he got a lot better as Riley, Gromie and Riley. I thought that Spencer Garrett is nailing Chick Hearn. You know, the looks, he's not going to look exactly like him, but if you listen to the old Chick and if you listen to Spencer, he's pretty damn near. He's pretty close. So I like those guys. All right, Winning Time, check it out, HBO Max.